It is Ashley Fissenden from Notjustboxing, and I'm here with world-renowned trainer Abel Sanchez. Abel, how are you?
I'm doing well. A little hot here in Riyadh, but it's interesting, and it's my first time here.
First time?
First time. Yeah.
45 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. So I've booked a hotel across the road. It's only about 2 minutes away, but
Right.
I'm probably going to have to get a taxi back.
Yeah, no, I walked to the mall the first day I was here, and oh my gosh, it was early in the morning. It was very hot.
How are you finding the Saudi hospitality?
Oh, it's wonderful. Very, very hospitable. Very accommodating. The food's great. So no, it's a great time here.
So let's talk about, obviously you've got a few fighters on the card.
Right.
Well, let's talk about Mohamed Alakel first of all. So he's 4-0 now? Is he 4-0?
4-0.
Yep, so he's flying through, and he's already been announced now for his next fight. But
Well, I don't like to hear that because we got to get rid of this one first before we can even plan about the second one. But I'm sure promotion-wise, it's a good thing to announce things way ahead of time. But I want to get through with this one first. I don't even want to think about the second one yet.
So let's talk about this one. What do you know about his opponent?
They sent me his record. At this stage in their careers, where they have 4 or 5 fights, it's a matter of picking guys that are going to help us in our development. Hopefully, he gives us a hard fight. I hope that it's a hard fight. Of course, I hope my guy wins, but I want it to be a fight where we can gain something from it. It's a young man, I think, from India, I believe. I think he's got 7 or 8 fights. So compared to most 4, it's a little more experience, but it's a guy that hopefully will provide us some learning experiences.
And looking at Mohamed right now and where he's at, obviously he's very young. Are you happy to see the improvement that he's already made in camp up at Big Bear?
You know what I look for? It's very important for me to have a guy that wants to work. It's easier for a coach, any coach, to teach and to develop the traits that coach has or tries to implement in his fighters. Mo has given me everything that I asked for. He's very disciplined, very dedicated. Big Bear is not the kind of town where you have a lot of things to do. You go up there to train and you go to eat, you go to train, you go to eat, you go to train. So the isolation up there is difficult for a lot of fighters. Lucky for me, I've had some guys that wanted to discipline themselves and dedicate themselves. Mo is another one. Hopefully it goes a long way because of that.
And Filip Hrgovic as well?
Yeah, Philip actually first came to me back in September of last year. We had 3 or 4 fight dates fall out on us. Finally, we got the Joyce fight with a 3-week notice, and now we had a little more time to prepare for this one. It's a great opportunity for him to put himself back on the big stage.
And what do you know about David Adelaide? Have you watched much of his career?
Well, we watched. He was on the undercard of the Joyce fight, so
Yeah.
we watched his fight. Unfortunately for his opponent, the referee kind of interfered at the wrong time, got caught with a shot and went down. But I watched the Fabio fight. So he's a good puncher, strong kid, taking up a step, supposedly taking a step up to fight Philip. But I think at that level with the heavyweights, anything can happen with one shot. With Usyk really being undecided, I think, or a lot of people think he's undecided. There could be a lot of opportunities for some of the top heavyweights coming up.
Definitely. And let's talk about the Usyk Dubois 2 fight. Obviously, that's, in my opinion, Usyk's best performance to date at 38 years old. If you were in Daniel's corner during that fight, would you be frustrated with how he boxed, or is it just down to Usyk being the better fighter at the end of the day?
You know, obviously none of us were there, but some of the rumblings and some of the things that we are hearing of the things that happened prior to the fight, this is a very difficult sport, and if you're not 100% focused on the task at hand, that's why I said a little while ago about Alakel's fight being announced before this one gets through. From what I've heard about Dubois, there was some things that were done before the fight that maybe as a coach you wouldn't want done. It's difficult to keep them from doing that, but the next fight is the most important thing in your entire life. You can get seriously hurt if you're not prepared. It didn't seem like he was focused. Maybe he went down he got hit with a good shot, but he went down, and it wasn't the shot that should have kept him down.
Would you say, not necessarily equipped, but would you say it's a tough one to say, really. I think the fight was taken out of him after the first round because he wasn't landing clean, and I just think mentally he just got destroyed by Usyk. I think it's easy for us to sit outside the ring and watch, but I can imagine for someone that he's so dangerous. Dubois will be champion again, I believe, but I can imagine for him to not be able to land your shots, to be hit so hard continuously. Maybe there was a part of you that just didn't want to let it go on any longer.
It didn't appear to me that he was as focused on the guy in front of him as he should have been. And when he went down with a good shot, he went down, but the look in his face was, I'm not here. I'm not here, so there's no sense in getting up. He didn't go down like he's laying on his back and his eyes are closed or he's panting for air. He went down, got on that elbow and looked up, and that's good enough. Mm-hmm. And that to me is a sign of maybe I'm not here today.
Yeah, because there was a few people after saying maybe boxing isn't for him, just with how he was acting.
No, boxing is, listen, they don't get to that level if it's not for you. Mm-hmm. He got to that level because of his hard work and his discipline. For some reason, the biggest fight of his life, the discipline went out the window, or the modus of operandi all of a sudden changed. I think that he got there with the discipline, and that discipline should have continued.
Yeah, and it seems like Usyk's just a kryptonite for everyone anyway. So if you've already been stopped by him previously and you are rematching him, there must be in the back of your head as a fighter as well that thought of, can I really do it? Will it be different this time round?
We weren't there. Obviously, I wasn't there. It could be that that discipline was out the window because of that thought. It could have been. We don't know. But Usyk is a special talent. He's dominating his division right now.
Yeah. So how do you train a fighter's mindset? Like, for example, in those positions, like how do you do it? Just through hard work? Do you teach them to be confident and strong just through the work that they're putting in every day? Is that how they get?
Are you talking about Dubois?
I'm talking about you with your fighters.
I know, but are you talking about if I was to train a guy like Dubois, like in that position? Yeah. Well, first of all, I think you have to have control of your fighter. I think you have to have control of your fighter, and the most important part should be, or the most important thing should be that you're focused on the task at hand. This fight is the most important fight. Forget about what happened before. Forget about what's going to happen later. If you don't win this one, there's no later and there's no before. So for me, the preparation wouldn't have been just this fight. It would have been an accumulation of time where you're in charge. They hire you for a reason, and they need to allow you to do your job. If they don't, then what's the sense of being there? So again, I go back to what happened prior to the fight. As a coach, I would have had more control. I don't know what what kind of input Don had, but there's only so much we can do if we haven't had that discipline and dedication from prior fights.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I do want to touch upon Canelo Crawford. It's going to be one of the biggest fights in the next few years. First of all, how do you see it going?
I think Canelo's too big for him. I think Canelo has proven that the biggest stars in his division and the division above can't hurt him. Bivol beat him, but really never hurt him and hit him with some great shots. I think it's going to be difficult for Crawford after the middle of the fight to try to stay competitive. Crawford's a great fighter, but that's why we have weight divisions in this sport. He's going to be getting hit by a truck after the fourth or fifth round. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo because of the speed. Once he assimilates the speed and once he feels that Crawford has got nothing for him, then I think it'll be a sparring session like he's had in the last 4 or 5 fights. From the 5th round on, it just seems like he's doing whatever he wants. Don't get me wrong, Crawford will hit him, but it won't be shots that will take away from what his game plan or his approach is to the fight.
Mm-hmm. And if Crawford fights, let's say it's just his natural weight, it doesn't have to cut too much, if he does fight at this weight, do you think there's going to be a sense of maybe he's going to be tired in the later rounds too, carrying that extra weight? being competitive for 12 rounds when you're, on the night maybe 20, 30 pounds heavier than previous fights, surely carrying that extra weight, you're not used to it, especially at 38 years old.
Common sense tells you that should be the case.
He is special though, isn't he?
And he's not used to carrying that weight. So yes, he should slow down. And if he slows down, you got a big truck coming at you and throwing shots. They don't have to be on the chin. They don't have to be the kind of shots that hurt Khan. That right hand that hurt Khan, just anywhere in the body, and that's what Canelo seems to be doing in a lot of his fights. The young man from England that he hit on the shoulders, what was his name?
Yeah, Callum Smith on the bicep.
Yeah, Callum Smith told you that's what he was doing, and his arm showed that. So, and that's a big 68-pounder. That's a big guy, and no matter how much weight you gain in a short period of time, it's not gonna give you that strength and that durability that, say, if it took a couple years, like Canelo has. Canelo came from 47, 47 at a competitive, in a world level. And by the time he got to 68, he had already matured. His body had matured, had been able to take that weight into consideration. His body got bigger and stronger. Crawford hasn't had that time to do that. Hasn't, his body hasn't matured in time, and Canelo's has.
Mm-hmm. And if you were in Crawford's corner, what would the game plan be?
I would have liked for him to come in. I don't know what this weight's going to be, but I keep hearing he's at 195, 192. He's going to drop down to 68. I would have liked for him to have stayed at 168 or 170, let's just say, for the whole period of his training period. Why? To get used to be comfortable with that weight and not have to drop anything. I would have liked to have seen him come into the fight at 162, 64, somewhere in there, to be as fast as possible and still have a little girth to him, so that at least he can absorb some of the weight difference with Canelo. But I don't think that it's a good thing for him to come down to a weight. He's not used to that.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And in terms of other superstars in the sport right now, I feel like boxing, we've got a little bit of a lull all of a sudden. A lot of people dropping off, especially coming from the UK. We've only got one champion in Nick Ball, who's on this card. But who have you seen on the circuit right now? Is there anyone we should be looking out for?
I really like the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions right now. They have some very, very good fighters in those divisions. One of them is going to emerge. I don't know which one it's going to be. There's 4 or 5 guys that are on the cusp. I know Fundora's doing real well, but he really, the rematch, I wasn't real happy with the rematch, only because I think Zoo hasn't looked good after the first Fundora fight. But there's 3 or 4 guys. Boots, is Virgil. The Norman Haney fight is a great fight. Norman could emerge as one of the superstars in those 2 weight divisions.
Do you think he beats Haney?
I think he beats Haney. Yeah, I think Haney will give him a very, very difficult fight. It'll be a good boxing match, but I think his size again will prove to be the difference. I saw him in camp. He was in camp for the Japanese for the fight he just had in Japan. Good camp, good coaching, good discipline, not a big crowd around him. It's him and his father and I believe one other man. So he's there for a reason. I think that there's no distractions in his camp. So he may emerge as one of the stars of that of the future.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, the Ring 4 card itself, in my opinion, is probably one of the best cards we'll see this year. And obviously we've seen some great ones already. Better Be a Bivol 2 was a great card. If you
It'll be here, right?
Yes. Yep. Saudi Arabia, November I want to say 22nd, could be wrong. But if you look as well, it's knockout puncher against knockout punch. There's a lot of heavy hitters there. No disrespect, besides Devin Haney, you've got like Benavidez, Anthony Yard. They're all known for knockout. Beterbiev's just come on it
fight.
Now. It's a great fight.
It's a great fight, yeah.
Yeah, they've never faced each other.
Beterbiev has got a tough fight, but not really a tough fight. He's got an unproven young man. But you're right, there's 4 or 5 fights that are could be main events in a lot of cards.
With Benavidez and Yard, I'd love to get your opinion on that, because Yard's very explosive, but it seems he never does enough at that world level, and we've sort of seen him go from, he'll fight some English level opponents and then go all the way up to world and then drop back down and go all the way up. It seems like the matchmaking, he's struggled to keep that consistency.
Well, with Benavidez, I think you have to be the kind of fighter that just presses him, and you have to have 12 rounds in you to be able to press him, because if you allow him to get into a rhythm, if you allow him to get into a fight, it's going to be difficult to beat Benavidez, at least for everybody except Canelo. In my opinion, his
hand speed.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. But he doesn't throw punches to try to destroy you. He throws punches to land them and to land combinations. And he reminds me a lot of one of my favorite fighters from Wales, Calzaghe. He wasn't a big puncher, but he hit you with so many shots that. And David, the problem with David sometimes that his lapses in defense. He got knocked down by a couple people. He got hurt by Morale. So if he doesn't have that with Yard, it'll be a good fight for him, a very winnable fight for Benavidez. Yard will present some problems, but not enough problems to win, I don't think.
And do you know much about Abdullah Mason's career so far? Abdullah Mason?
No, I don't know much about him.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say we could mention him. So he's a young prospect for Top Rank, big knockout artist, and he's fighting a guy from my hometown, Sam Noakes. They're both great fighters, but it's one of those, they've both not been tested at that level, so you're quite unexposed. I didn't know if you'd seen much about him.
No, I haven't seen him.
It'll be a good fight.
Now that I've got Mo at 134, 33, maybe now I'll start paying a little more attention to those weights. But usually I don't watch fights unless I have a fighter in those weight divisions that I need to pay attention to. So, but maybe now I'll start paying a little more attention to the lightweights and junior lightweights.
So Buddy McGurt said, Dillian Whyte's coach, he had said that he's not seen any of Moses Itauma's fights. Is it a bit strange as a coach to say that in an interview at the start of fight week when you're about to be main event against that guy? Are they mind games? Because surely as a coach you wouldn't see it.
Buddy McGurt is a very smart coach. Buddy McGurt has got everything on Moses that he probably has more than anybody else does right now. He's not gonna show his cards. He knows everything that he's got to do and everything that Moses has done. He's an old vet that was a great champion, was a very good champion. So he's telling you that, but trust me, he knows everything about Moses. He probably knows what he's having for breakfast.
And Dillian's looking very lean as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's a change. That's a good thing. Maybe he realizes he's got a very good opponent in front of him. For both guys. For Moses, it's a fight that will show us if he belongs. I shouldn't say if he belongs. If he's on his way up, because he still has some fights before he can be crowned the next apparent. And Dylan is at the point where he needs a win. He needs a win, so maybe he took it a little more serious, and because of the guy in front of him, and because he knows that this could be the last one if he doesn't look good.
Definitely. And I do just want to quickly touch upon, there is talks about AJ versus Jake Paul, and it's getting to the point now where it's probably going to get pushed across the line. Do you think that's good at this point? I guess there's so many factors in this, but again, as a Brit, we wanted to see Fury AJ 5 years ago, and we don't care if they both lost many times. It's a fight we need to see before they retire.
Yeah.
Do you think it's strange that Jake Paul's on the table first, or I guess is this just a money grab?
I think that it's unfair. I think that it's unfair to the guys that have struggled and have worked hard to fight the Dillian Whytes, to fight the kind of fights that you have to fight to get to that level. Philip Hrgovic, same thing. You know, we're fighting the tough fights to get to that level where you get a guy that unfortunately it's about money. I guess it's a money grab, like you said, that brings a lot of money to the table and is going to get an opportunity that he doesn't deserve. He hasn't fought. The only real fighter that he fought, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson didn't fight the fight that I thought he was going to fight. I saw a lot of punches pulled. The only fighter that he really fought, the only boxer that he really fought, beat him. And I'm talking about Tommy
Fury.
Yeah. So I think it's unfair to a lot of the guys that are working their way up to allow a guy like that to step in and get an opportunity like that. Then you look at it on the other side, Joshua. It's a business. You know, you do what you have to you do what you have to do, I should say, to be able to solidify your your future. And that's what he's doing. If that happens, I think that's what he's doing. AJ should beat him, but it's not good for boxing.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously Tyson Fury, he's announced his retirement for now. But do you think he is going to stay retired? Because there's still so much more in him, right?
You know what? I had him in camp in Big Bear for about 3 weeks. And Tyson is the kind of guy that needs people around him, needs a microphone and a camera in front of him all the time. Very, very talented, great movement. Tyson Fury's worst enemy is Tyson Fury. He doesn't get up for fights like he should. He just doesn't seem it just like it's too easy for him. That's what it appeared to me anyway in my gym.
Mm-hmm. We'll wrap this up in a second. Yeah, no worries.
What is this? This is the Uji floor, right?
Uji? I don't know, to be fair.
As I was saying, I think that Tyson could be very, very dominant if he just focused on these next 2 or 3 years. Could be the dominant heavyweight. Size, ability, IQ, all that is. He's got so much, but he just seems to be unfocused. Is he here? He's done. I just sent a message to him where to go. He just seems to not be motivated at times. Mm-hmm. I was lucky enough to do BBC Radio when he fought the first Wilder fight, and the week of the fight, they asked me what I thought, and I thought, you know what, Tyson's going to win 11 rounds easy. He's going to box his ears off, win 11 rounds, and then he's going to get stupid and unfocused and get caught in the 12th and maybe get stopped or get dropped. And sure enough, that's what almost happened, right?
Are you a betting man?
No, I don't bet. No. You know what? I've never bet on a fight because I have to make sure that if I bet on not necessarily my fighters, but if I bet on a fight, then it would be easy for me to bet on a fight that my guys have, even if it's an easy fight or I have a chance of winning and it's a big odds, because I want to be in the corner and make sure that I'm making decisions for the best interest of my fighter.
Yeah, mine's completely different, but the only reason I don't bet on boxing is just it takes the fun out of it as well, because you want to be focused on the fight at hand. You don't want to be thinking, oh, I'm right. Like, at the end of the day, we're all here to be proved wrong, and there's always someone that will do that. So
for me, I want to make my decisions with a clear mind. With I haven't got money on it. I want to make sure that I make my decisions in the best interest of my fighter. So that's why I don't bet. But anyway, getting back to Tyson, I think he could be dominant if he puts himself under the tutelage of somebody that's like Emmanuel Stewart was very good at this. Discipline. He could be great again.
Mm-hmm. And do you think he beats Anthony Joshua if they do finally fight?
Again, if he does that, yes, he beats everybody. If he does that, he's very talented. Maybe he doesn't beat Filip Hrgovic, but he beats everybody else. I think that he's very talented, and I think that his Achilles heel, his kryptonite is himself.
Mm-hmm.